Okay, so full disclosure, I had previously tested a earlier version of this puzzle. Have not done this one in particular. I know the one that I tested still had a rook on it, and this one I believe only has knights and bishops and maybe a pawn. Although I don't look at the rules here, it doesn't mention a pawn, so it probably doesn't have pawns. Um, but it is another chess line puzzle, so I'm super excited to give this one a shot. The rules are normal Sudoku rules. There's a blue cell that must be an even digit, and adjacent digits on a line must form a valid chess move on the number pad based on the piece that is on that line. So, for example, if it's a knight line, then the numbers must follow a knight pattern on the number pad. So, a one can go into a six or an eight. If it's a bishop, bishop can go like 159, 195, for example. Okay, let's get going. Go. So we learned last time. This is this is going to be one of those things where your knowledge carries over as you get more used to this. So we learned last time that knights have to alternate between odd and even parities. It's kind of like how German whispers numbers have to alternate between highs and lows. But on a knight line, just the way the number pad is arranged, a knight will always travel from an odd number to an even number, back to an odd number, back to an even number, etc., etc. So because we know this middle one is an even number, these all other ones must be even, and these ones must be odd. And then the other thing we know from the previous one was that the bishop line is either all evens or all odds, similar to how in chess, the light square bishop always stays on the light squares, the dark square bishop will always stay on the dark squares. So in this case, there is no way for a bishop to get off of an even or get off onto the odds. So there's three here, and there's already two evens, so I think this line has to be all odd. And now we've got four odds here, so this bishop line needs to be all even. Okay. Now then, what else do we have? Can we finish coloring any of these things? Not quite. But we do have four here, so these are all odds. And then now this knight line, alternates. That. And now we have four evens in there. These are all odds. Now we have five odds. These are all even. Odds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not quite. We have. Wow, can't believe we have all five odds there already. So these are evens. Now we have all the evens in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one is even. Anything else? Can we go any further? Let's look at this one maybe. Is there any problems with either one? Well, okay, whatever this one is, this has to be the opposite, right? Because this is a consecutive line here. Did he even mention? Oh yeah, he does mention Kropki dot rules. Okay, so this one must be the opposite, right? So an even number is always one off from another, from an odd number, and vice versa. So these are opposite polarities, which means this is the same as this. So this is all one polarity. This is the opposite, and this would be the same. So now we know that these cannot be evens, because otherwise that would put 5 even on that column. So these are all these. So even Steven. Okay. We finish off the coloring at this point. This is an odd number. This must be a 1. No, it could be a 3. It could be a 1 or a 3, but I have to go into an even number. I think it's a 1 because it goes back into itself. So this has to be a 1 into a 2. It goes into a 4. These are all odds. I think in the version I tested, and I don't even remember now because it's been almost a week, I think, since I last looked at it. And I've done quite a few things in the meantime, including setting my own puzzles. GDC has been very, very gracious and patient with me as I started setting puzzles again. And he's been very helpful, helping me get some stuff going in. So yeah, anyways, it's been a while since I touched these ones, but I think when I was testing, I did manage to color the entire thing before I had to put in numbers. I don't know if we could have done the same thing here, but I did put in these ones here. So now this one, as we know, must go into a 6 and an 8. 6 or an 8, rather. This 6, 8 then goes into 5, 7, or 9. That's not particularly helpful in the bishop line. This 6 or 8. 6 can go into back into a 1 or a 7, and 8 can go into back into a 1 or a 3. Okay. This is also a 6, 8. This is also a 6, 8. This here, these two numbers must be the same as these two numbers. That's significant. Anyway, I'm not sure. Oh, hello, baby.
Hello guys, make sure to like and subscribe. Whoa.
Thank you. Alright, well, with that distraction out of the way, let us continue. Okay, back at it here. Trying to see if there's any other relationships we can take advantage of. Okay, well, no, that's not particularly helpful. I think something could be said about 5s here, right, along this bishop line, because along a column or within a box, it can only hit 3 numbers. There's 4 numbers here. Tricky, tricky. I feel like missing something. You know, these two are the same as these two. Doesn't quite bear anything. Ah, the other thing we have to remember about the chess lines is that a 5 is never on the knight line, because the 5 has no legal knight jumps to anything. So we know this is a 5. There you go. That's helpful. And I think 5s are actually significant. I was going to mention for the bishop line as well, because on the bishop line, it needs to pivot on a 5 to get to the other numbers. So in this box here, it's very interesting, right? Because it has to pivot on the 5 in order to get to one of the other numbers. But it could pivot outside. It could be, well, no, it'll still have to have a 5, right? Because maximum 3 numbers on the line. So one of these has to be a 5. Oops, one of these has to be a 5, I think. Not particularly helpful. Well, we know, so these are not 5s. These are not 5s. This could be a 5. Oh, this knight line here. This is a 5 here. And then these are knight lines, so one of these is a 5. Now that eliminates 5 from here. 5 must be up here. So 5 is one of these two. Is this as far as the 5s can take us? We should consider this knight line, right? Because it starts with an odd. So we can start in the corner. I think almost everything is possible though. 1, 6, 7, 2, 9, 4, 1, 8. Okay. That's not particularly helpful then. The bishop line will dance a little circle all the way around. So we might even be able to tell, actually, not only the fact that these are the same numbers, but which one of these is which. Right? So for example, if this is a 2, 2, let's say 4, 8, 6, 2, 4 again. 2, 4, 8, 6, 4. Yeah, so I think this number has to be the same as this number, and this number has to be the same as this number. So let's give these a little letter. And the reason I want to do that is because of this A. It's not on here. So one of these must be a B, and that is this one right here. That is the B, and B is not 4. Which is all we know. Which might be helpful actually, because now that it's not a 4, that means it's not the pivot between a 9 and a 3. This is not a 3, 9. I know that's significant right now. Nine, 7 can go into 1 or 3. Yes, okay, here we go. Yeah, 9 or 7 could go into 1 or 3, and then it has to hit the 5 as the last number, and then pivot from 5 into any of the other numbers. And this is a 5 here now. That puts the 5 down here somewhere. 5 is here somewhere. As well as here. Oh, okay, might as well label this one here. Now, is there any issues if this is a 5? Yes, there would be, right? Because now it has nowhere to go, and we already stated it needs to pivot on the 5 somewhere. So this has to be the 5. Which puts the 5 here, which eliminates the 5 from here, and puts the 5 down here, puts the 5 here, and the 5 here. Okay. One, 3, 7, and 9 are left here. It's not particularly helpful. 3, 7, 9 are left here. Oh, this is a 1. See, it's a 3. Now we know. 5 to 3 goes to 7, which doesn't help for this, unfortunately. But it does limit us to 1 and 9 over here. It's kind of cool, right? 1 can go into 6 or 8. 9 can go. Okay, that's not as cool. Although, yes, okay. Although that does mean that this is either a 2-4 pair, or it is a 6-8 pair. So this is a 2-4 or a 6-8, and we already know this one cannot be a 2. So this is 4, 6, 8. 2-4 or a 6-8 pair. And that's the same over here. 4, 6, 8 pair. One pivots into 7. Well, no. Okay, it can pivot into anything except the 9. So it can be 3 or 7. And then the other one has to be the 3 or 7, right? And then 9 pivots into anything except a 1. So it's also 3, 7. So these are 3 7s. These are 1, 9. And that's kind of something like a tangent to corollary? I can't even say that word. To something we had thought about last time, which was that knights have the hardest time jumping to adjacent squares, and also a diagonal 1 step away from them. They require like 4 moves to get to the diagonal. Knights are terrible defenders, by the way, if you play chess. Okay, so we were saying how 4, yeah, if this is not 4, then it can't be the pivot between a 9 and a 3. So if this is 9, this is a 7. But because this could be a 1, this could still be a 3, unfortunately. That's not as helpful right now. Oh, here, this sees everything except for 9. It's helpful. And then 7 goes into 3, and their last number here could be 9 or 1. Oh, but the 9 itself has to go to the 1. must travel, and then this could be anything that is. It could go back to 1 again, couldn't it? It could go into 179, which means it can go back to 19, or down here, this is a 3 or 9, so this is a 9. It's a 3. That's no longer. It's no longer 9, which means this is no longer a 1. This is also a 7, 9 now. One of these has to be a 9. And also a 1. We're back at that 1, 9 junction again. That puts a 3, 7 over here though. Sevens are like this, as well as 9s. This is a 1, 3. So 1 can a 1, yes, 1 can get to a 7. 1 can get to a 3. 3 cannot get to a 7, but it could go back to itself. Oh, but one of these has to be a 7, so this cannot be a 3. This must be a 1. This must be a 3 then, which goes into the 7. That's the 9. That's the 7, that's a 3. So 1 goes to 6 to get to 3 and must go to 8 to get to. Sorry, 1 gets to 6 to go to 7, and it goes to 8 to get to the 3. What I meant to say, from the 7, 7 can go to 2 or 6. Would take us to 1 or 9. Fortunately, we don't know which way that is. But now we have a 6, 8 looking at this, and we said last time that this has to be a 6, 8 or a 2, 4 because we see both 6, 8. This must be the 2, 4. This must be 6, 8, which is unfortunate, so we don't get to disambiguate that. This is still 6, 8, which makes these 2. We have one more odd left. A 7 here makes these 1, 9. Now we have a 1, 9. This must be a 3, 7. This is also a 3, 7. Shame this pivots everywhere. 1 can go to 6 or 8. 6 or 8 can go into 1, back to 1 or something. Have anything else? Well, this is 6, 8, so these cannot be 6, 8. These are now 2, 4s. Well, 2, 4s pair with the 9. There we go. That is what we have left going for us. 1. So 9 can go into 2 to go to 7, or to go to the 3. That leaves what? Let's get up that. So 1 can go to 6 to 3, 8, or 8 to the 3, 6 to the 7. Okay, what else do we have here? I have to look at this night line now. Yes, maybe. 3 needs to go to 8 to get to the 1, and 4 get to the other one. So this must be 6. There you go. That might have just cracked the whole thing open. Let's take a look. So 2, 6. Didn't do as much damage as I was hoping for. Let's see what here. What has here? 4, 8. 2, 6. This must be 4. There we go. Keep the train rolling. Did we get any numbers onto this thing? Don't think so. 7. 7. Oh, there's already a 2. Or a 6, rather. I think, see, it said 3 to 8 goes to 1, this goes to the 9. Yeah. Took a little bit longer, kind of like, but we did have quite a few interruptions throughout, so a little bit of context shifting going on there. And it did take a little bit of time to explain a little bit the intricacies of these lines. There's a lot of cool things to be done with these chess lines. Very, very excited for it. This is probably one of my favorite rule sets right now, because it's so versatile, right? Like with one rule set, you can get how many pieces there are in chess? 1, 2, 3, 4. You could get like 5 or 6 different behaviors out of that, which is really cool in my opinion. Rook, bishop, knight, queen, king, pawn. Six different behaviors for those lines with one rule set. So it's really cool. Well, I'm excited to see more come out of this in the future. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed the video, you know what to do. Thanks again for watching.